Hello and welcome, caring Cancerians. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com, and I'm here to do your tarot astrology for June. And a really big, huge, mega month it is. So just briefly, before I go on to that, I'll just tell you a little bit about how I operate, what I do, if you haven't joined me before. I'll talk about the retrogrades and what it means for you caring Cancerians, what houses are affected for you. I'll also pick a couple of tarot cards as themes for your month. We'll look at your zodiac wheel and, what's in the heavens astrologically for you. A quick tarot reading, and finally finish up with a psychic summary at the end. So it's all a bit of a combo. I don't think anyone does it like this, and so hopefully you'll find it a little bit interesting. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is the fact that there are 6 planets retrograding in June. There are 3 asteroids and there are 2 eclipses. This is absolutely huge for everybody to try and manage all of this change and transformation that's going on. Okay, so it affects everyone right across the board. One of the eclipses is in your sign, so it's going to affect you even more. So let's have a look firstly at the retrogrades, and you'll see them all lined up here pretty in a diagram. The first one I'm going to talk about is Mercury retrograde in your sign. So, okay, this is going to affect you a lot. And it's also going to affect you because it's in your first house, the house of yourself. So this is all about messages. Mercury is the god of messages. And so communications could be affected. And in your first house, people might misconstrue or misunderstand what you're trying to say because you're just beginning a new cycle and you have a lot of energy around you at the moment. And, people just sort of, maybe they only half listen and they don't get the full story or the right end of the stick. So do be careful of that. Mercury's retrograde from the 17th of June until the 12th of July. The very nature of retrogrades is all about disruption. Okay, so you might change some of the ways you communicate. You might be a little bit more careful in your emails or perhaps your messages, just to make sure that they can't be, misinterpreted. Add extra emojis and things like that so people start to understand what's going on. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is Venus in your 12th house, and that is retrograde from the 13th of May until the 25th of June. And with all retrogrades, there's also a shadow period on either side of these dates that I'm giving you. Some people say the shadow period can be for a couple of weeks either side, but the energy in the shadow is not as strong as the energy, when the planet is actually retrograde. Okay, so Venus in the 12th, you might become aware more of what's going on in your subconscious and really find some peace, which would be nice. You go deeper and deeper within yourself, and Venus just loves peace and beauty and harmony. It could be a time also in relationships where things are quieter and you're more focused on yourself, and so you should be too. With these things that are going on astrologically for you, you should be focused on yourself. So your relationships might just get put to the side a little bit. Just be aware of that. Jupiter is retrograde in the 7th, and Mars goes retrograde, but not until September. So this month, Jupiter, 13th of May until the 14th of September in Capricorn. Okay, with Jupiter in retrograde there, it's sort of a mixed bag because Jupiter likes to increase everything it touches, but when it's retrograde, it can actually decrease things, and it's there in your 7th house, so there mightn't be a lot of energy available for committed relationships such as business partnerships or even marriages or a significant other. So it's like the energy's turned in on itself. But if you do have sort of difficult habits or addictions, for example, in relationships, maybe you've met someone and you feel like you're addicted to them, you might begin to realise that that's not healthy, and you may be able to minimise those sorts of behaviours. Saturn is also retrograde in the 7th, and that's from 11th of May till 29th of September in Capricorn. And again, it's about your relationships, your business and personal committed relationships, okay? So there could be some challenges, some obstacles. Yeah, maybe you just can't communicate with each other anymore. And it could bring up even, daddy issues, authority figures, fatherhood issues, that sort of thing that you need to deal with. But this is all about making you independent, okay? And even though Venus does love, Venus doesn't want you to be codependent with somebody else or reliant on somebody else. Venus wants you to be independent and standing up on your own 2 feet. Neptune goes retrograde in your 9th house of higher mind from the 23rd of June to the 28th of November in Pisces. And Neptune is a very spiritual planet, and especially like with Pisces, Neptune is at home in Pisces, and so there's a lot of spirituality going on there. But the other thing, when it's retrograde, things could go a little bit quieter, or perhaps fantasies and delusions come up. You misunderstand a situation, or you're looking at a situation with rose-coloured glasses and somebody is manipulating you, so you don't really see what is going on there. You don't see the full picture straight away. So just be a little bit careful there. But it's in the 9th house, which is higher mind, so that could be to do with study, teaching, learning. It could also be to do with overseas travel or overseas connections, or a foreign lover or someone you meet on the internet or something like that. So do be careful if somebody approaches you from another country and they want to have some sort of relationship with you. You might think they're fine, but do be careful. Pluto retrograde in your 7th house of committed relationships, 25th of April to the 4th of October in Capricorn again. And with Pluto there, that could bring up all sorts of things, something dying, the death of something, but also rebirth. The phoenix rises out of the ashes. It also brings up those addictive qualities I was talking about before, manipulation, control and domination. So, try to stay calm, try to stay really quiet, and don't, if you can help it, try not to make really important decisions during retrogrades, because sometimes when the planet turns direct, then you change your mind. All right, so let's go to the board now and just sharpen that up a little bit better so you can see it. It's a little bit blurry. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is pick these 2 theme cards for you, Caring Cancerians, for the month of June. 2 theme cards for the month of June to see what comes out. Going to go with that one. Closing my eyes now, what do I see as a theme? I see a door opening up, opportunities which you can embrace. I get the word embrace, as there might be something here about friendships, love, affection, and change, just generally change. Wow, I've got the devil, that'll change things. Okay, this card hardly ever comes up, but if you had to associate it with a planet, Pluto would be the planet, and especially retrograde. Okay, this is about your hidden side, your shadow side. Again, I must go back to the addictions. I think this is the third time I've mentioned. I keep coming back to that. Humans can get addicted to anything. I like to drink tea. I will drink 8 cups of tea a day. It can't be good to drink that much tea, surely. I only drink the really good quality tea, but still. And so you can have an addiction like that, which is quite, harmless in a way, or you can have a really savage addiction that really hurts you in lots and lots of ways, whether that be, the traditional drugs, alcohol, sex, work, exercise, you name it, humans can get addicted to it. This is likely to bring up something around addictions and how you are enslaved by a situation. I don't know if you can see those chains around the wrist down the bottom there, but this is actually an opportunity for you to deal with something that is really trapping you, okay? And it's on a physical level. It's got very real physical consequences as a result of this. It could also be something like domination, control, manipulation, all those fun things. Okay, and the other theme for the month for you, caring Cancerians, I just get a sense here, just before I go on, I just get a sense of breaking free of it, realising what is going on and what you're going to do. Okay, second half of the month for caring Cancerians. You care too much. All right, close my eyes now, and what do I see? Okay, you know how before I said embrace affection, love, that sort of feeling? They want you to turn this inwards so that you feel these feelings for yourself, okay? This is how you feel about yourself, not that you're turning them outwards into the outside world. Okay, we come up with the Queen of Pentacles. Sorry. This is about your finances. This is about getting organised. Some of the addictions that people can have are spending money. I didn't mention that one, and that's a really important thing. We buy things to make ourselves feel better, okay? And this can really run people into trouble. So it's time to stop that excessive consumption. You really only need to buy things when you need it, okay? And just because I have 80 pair of shoes, I do, I admit it, but I didn't accumulate them in 5 seconds. This is over decades I've accumulated them. And so I don't need any more shoes. And if I just went out and bought a pair of shoes, that'd be stupid now, so you don't want to be doing that excess. This is half the problem that humanity's got, what we've got ourselves into is this conspicuous consumption of keep going on and buying stuff, and it is an addiction. So this one here, Queen of Pentacles, that I'm getting to, she has control of these sorts of energies, these addictions. She's got a pentagram in this hand, and then in the other hand she's got a little box like a sewing box, and she can actually make things that she needs. She doesn't have to go out and buy stuff all the time. She is in control of her finances, and she's extremely organised. She's an astute businesswoman. She takes action when she needs to. See, she's all in red there, and she's sitting on a gold throne because she has sufficient money. She can afford a gold throne, and she has her money tied up in physical assets. So she's not investing in things like Bitcoin or derivatives on the stock market and stuff like that that doesn't have any physical correlation or any physical link or attachment. So she's a very physical and very organised person, and you can be like that too. Okay, so you might go through this here, brings it up, you clear it out, and then you decide you're going to make some new decisions this month, caring Cancerians. Now, bearing that in mind, let's now look at your horoscope. And what I'm going to do is just zoom on that a bit so you can see it more. And I must say also happy birthday early Cancerians. Alrighty, so May 11 to June 27, Mars in your 9th house up here. This is about speaking your truth, like promoting your spiritual philosophy. Okay, so, sorry, you could have a lot of energy for talking about things to do with the higher mind, wisdom and knowledge. It's also associated, this house, with travel and adventure, but do be cautious that you don't advance too quickly, okay? So keep everything in balance. Don't run off to another country at the moment, especially with COVID. May 19th to June 20th, Sun in your 12th house here. Brings you a lot of insight and awareness about the 12th house of your subconscious, the house of the goddess. Okay, you could be feeling quite happy and feel like you're really achieving something, especially with this guy here, okay? You could feel like you get these addictions coming up and you're battling it and you're winning, okay? So that's excellent. So a lot of insight, awareness and even happiness for you there. Focus on your inner life now. May 27th to August 4, Mercury in your 1st house here. I already talked about Mercury retrograde. Speak out and express yourself clearly now, okay, especially with the retrograde, and also with that, be careful about your devices, because computers and devices and electronics often play up under Mercury retrograde. Initiate communications about what your heart really desires, and then listen to other people. May 31 until June 4, Venus trine Moon. Relaxing at home with your family, harmony. Really sort of enjoying what's going on in family life, okay? Venus here making a lovely aspect here to your moon. Great. I haven't got any water. Isn't that terrific? Just a little bit left, which I've just swallowed. Okay, so make your home beautiful and comfortable at the moment. June 4 to June 8th, Venus squares your MC. So, okay, you could have a little bit of energy here for where it's torn, like you're torn between spending time with your friends and receiving affection and love and getting work done, or spending time on, on your career. So you need to schedule some home time so you can balance the two, because Venus does love to be at home, but your work is calling you at the same time. May 31st to June 4, Venus trines Moon. I just talked about that, sorry. June 5, lunar eclipse in your 6th house. Okay, here. Lunar eclipse is all about change and transformation. This is your everyday work. It's also your health and well-being. So things could be coming up for you to deal with, and you will deal with them so that you can be better organised with your everyday habits and your routine. So there's a big transformation there. June 9th to June 13th, Mercury trines Mars. It's a great time to express yourself, speak up, and listen to others, and your communications will flow more smoothly in that time. Okay, so Mercury here trining Mars. Where is Mars? Up here. Okay, so that could sort of take the edge off Mercury retrograde. June 11th to 24th, Mercury square Moon. Emotional times. It's time to clear the air. Speak about your grievances in a very sort of practical way. Don't let your emotions take over. That's what I'm trying to say. June 19th to July 22, Sun in the 1st house. You could make an impression. On other people now. They sort of feel a magnetic attraction, or see an aura about you. Gives you a lot of insight and awareness, and also, you might decide you want to do things, change your appearance, change your identity, clean out your wardrobe, do things like that, and people notice when you change your appearance. June 20 to June 24, Mars sextiles Jupiter, doors open with new opportunities, and there's likely to be positive outcomes coming and a lot of more energy around you during this time. So that's a really nice one. June 26 to January 6, Mars moves into your 10th house here of career and reputation. You could be feeling very fired up about achieving in the workplace, get a new job, get another job, or even build your reputation by networking and those sorts of things. June 30th to December 17th, Saturn goes into your 8th house just here. So this is about other people's money and intimacy, and you might find that there's some sort of challenges in being, really intimate with someone or with somebody else's money. There can be delays, but if you're really persistent, that will pay off in the end. Okay, so let's have a look now. Just remember these two, the Devil and the Queen of Pentacles, as themes, and let's have a look at your tarot cards week by week for June. Caring Cancerians. Let's see what comes up for the first week. Something under there. I'm going to go with that one. Closing my eyes now. What do I see? Yes, a lot of green, a lot of opportunity, a lot of growth. When you plant a seed in the ground and it has to burst out of its shell underneath the ground, and then it has to come up through the ground before it actually, you actually see the plant growing. That's where you are. It's like you're still in the ground, but you're coming up to the surface. That's what I'm seeing. And we get the Two of Pentacles. This is about your finances. So much coming up in the horoscopes about money this month for all the signs. And Pentacles has to be the most frequently pulled suite that I've had. So money, you're really going to be focused on your money beginning of June and sorting things out. And we did have the Queen of Pentacles here as a theme, remember? Now let's have a look here. Second week of June for Caring Cancerians. Caring Cancerians. Going with that card there, closing my eyes. What do I see? Okay, I'm in the cave in the ground, and a pulley system comes down, and it can give me, I can hook onto it and I can be lifted up out of the cave. So down in the ground, that's like being down in the body, being down in the subconscious, and coming up through the darkness into the light. And we come up with the Page of Pentacles, again about your money or your possessions even. There's the light is coming. This is about good news. So she has a lot of black on here that she's wearing, which could be unknown things, but she's also got some white. So that's a bit that's known. There's a fair bit that's unknown. And there's a fair bit of red, which is action. That's indicating action steps. Action needs to be taken. She's even got very bright red nail polish on. And so there's some good news about finances, and you have to do something about it. You can't just sort of sit there. There's some action needs to be taken. Middle of the month to the third week of the month, around there, for Caring Cancerians, what comes up and what can I see? All right, going with that one. Closing my eyes, I get the sense of a fish. So the fish is the symbol of the subconscious communications, messages coming up. This is what the Christians used in the early days to communicate with each other, because if the Romans found out, the Romans were jailing them and torturing them. So they used this sign of the fish ichthys to let each of each other know who they were, if that makes sense. Getting confused. The card that comes up again, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, this is all about your money. Okay, so I've already talked about this, but here it is again. So that's a double lot of energy, indicating that you have to get organised with your money. You have to really look at creative ways of making new money and doing a budget and living within your means, okay? Spirit's really telling you about that. And this, you could be quite worried about it, in fact. I need to change so that you can see the whole board. That's better. You could be quite worried about it, and that's why it's all this sort of visual imagery I'm seeing about you being down in the ground, down in the subconscious, and trying to, that one's just dropped out, so we'll go with that one. Trying to deal with things in the darkness rather than, being in the light. But try not to worry. It's all in hand. Spirit is looking after you. There are so many angels. There are more angels on this planet than people. Okay, and we come up with hopes and dreams, which is the 9 of Cups. So again, she's in red. That indicates some action needs to be taken. But this is about hopes and dreams being fulfilled, so send them out into the universe. Hopes and dreams are not the same as fantasies. Fantasies are stories that your head makes up. They're like Hollywood movies in your head, whereas hopes and dreams are coming from the heart. Okay, so these are your true desires deep down. Okay, some of them can be answered starting this month in June if you take the appropriate action. Last couple of days of the month for caring Cancerians. That one wants to come out. Closing my eyes now. What do I see? Okay, I see the light and then it turns into a big silver coin. Okay, this is about transformation. The fact that it's silver means it's got something to do with the feminine, the divine feminine. Okay, and this is inner change that needs to take place, inner transformation, so that you can manifest what you want to in the physical world. And wow, this is a card that is telling you that inner transformation really needs to take place. Okay, this is literally being trapped, being restricted, being tied up. All these swords here, these are about your thoughts. You could be doing this to yourself in some way, having your thoughts go over and over and over non-stop about negative things in your life, or negative self-talk, the awful things that you tell yourself about yourself. Okay, yes, there are things that happen in the physical world. People are not very nice. They say awful things. If you're having problem on social media with that at the moment, get off social media. That solves that. Because I have noticed on social media there is a terrible lot of nastiness going on. But you can just delete and block. That's your friend. The delete key or the block key is your friend. So with this, this could be about money. 8s in numerology do relate to money, and maybe you're telling yourself negative things about, why you haven't got money and that you're not a worthwhile person and that sort of thing, and that's absolutely not true. There's lots of reasons people don't have money. But let's just pull another card there on that, just to give you a clue of what else you can do. And I'm going with that one, and I'm closing my eyes now. What do I see? What is that? I see a needle, and there's that saying in the Bible about a wealthy man going to heaven is harder than passing through a needle, a camel passing through a needle, or some saying like that, some verse. And you can have too much money too. If you've got too much money, there's problems, with that as well. So depends on your focus, I guess, and depends on your mindset. But if you have a scarcity mentality where you're looking at what's scarce all the time rather than what you do have, because you are alive, so So at the very least, you've got something because you're alive and you're breathing. So there's always hope. Let's see what card comes out. And it's the Fool, okay? This is about taking a risk, taking a chance, stepping out into a new horizon. See this little dog at the back there? This can be your negative thoughts telling you can't do it. Or it could be your friends and your family also saying that. But the universe does look after the people who take a risk. And you've got to take a sensible risk, do some research and look at it and think about it first. Don't just blindly strike out and hope it'll work out, because often things don't work out like that. But if you look into it and research, there are some opportunities for growth, okay? So it's time to let go of the past, caring Cancerians. We've got a big focus on money this month for you. Two of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, your hopes and dreams, and getting free of a restrictive situation by stepping out and taking a risk, but also, looking at it first and doing some research. So I'll just close my eyes now and see what I come up with to finish up for you. Yes, I can see some gold coins here. So we had the Divine Feminine earlier before. Now I'm seeing the gold coins, which is the Divine Masculine, transformation of your masculine side. So even if you're single, you still have masculine energy, the Divine Masculine within, and you can find that in yourself. Get in touch with that logical, practical side, okay? One reason I know for a fact, especially people that are very intuitive or emotional, and you're ruled by the moon, dear Cancerian, so you're really in touch with your emotions. But one reason that Cancerians sometimes have difficulty earning money is their feet are not on the ground squarely and solidly. So really the way to do that is really put all your attention into being practical, because you've got no problems feeling your emotions. You can feel them all. So, get a dog with 4 legs because they've got 4 feet on the ground, and go walking with your dog. This will help. Yoga will help. Eat root vegetables like potatoes and swedes and turnips and stuff like that. Or things out of the ground will help you become more practical. Avoid alcohol, avoid drugs, or anything that takes you up into another level or down into another level. You want to be in touch with Mother Earth, do some rituals, and maybe surround yourself with practical people as well, okay? And that will help you. Okay, so a big month for you, caring Cancerians. I hope this has been a help for you. Please leave me a comment. I would really appreciate that, and I answer all your comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and click the notification bell. But mostly and definitely have a very wonderful and insightful month, and I shall see you again soon. Thanks again, and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.